Many MPs have been forced to switch off their phones owing to an increasing number of texts and calls urging them not to vote in favor of the Finance Bill 2024. This is after contacts of many of them got shared online in a wave of social activism against the bill.
I know many of these members, including myself, we have suffered a lot of harassment. And I was asking the leader of minority this morning whether he has suffered the same. And he told me his phone is worse. Many of these members of parliament today, Honorable Speaker, you cannot reach them on their phones because they have blocked their phones, including WhatsApp. But this is the beauty of our democracy, Honorable Speaker.
To this effect, the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner has issued a cautionary statement on sharing of personal data. The ODPC says sharing phone numbers, names, location and details of family members without consent is contrary to the provisions of Article 31 of the Constitution of Kenya, the Data Protection Act of 2019 and its attendant regulations, inviting those whose privacy has been violated to file their complaints with the Commission. Meanwhile, President William Ruto says Kenyans protesting are within their constitutional rights, which is part of a healthy democracy. The ball of what will and will not be passed is in the court of the legislators.
Civil society is free to do what they want to do. We are a democratic country. We have no problem. Those who want to demonstrate, they can demonstrate. It is their right. No problem. But the decisions have to be made by institutions. We will make decisions as the executive. Now Parliament will go and do their thing and make sure that we move it into the future. And if there are any issues, we have a judiciary that also helps us to make sure that they interpret situations appropriately.
This comes even as the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions dropped charges against Boniface Mwangi and 4 others who were being charged for creating disturbance in a manner likely to cause a breach of peace and unlawful assembly, citing that the evidence presented did not meet the threshold to proceed with the prosecution.
So now we are only left with one question. If the DPP has no intention of charging them and they have a constitutional duty to carry out prosecution in this country, then what are these persons doing under the police custody? 24 hours are already over. They were arrested yesterday at 3 p.m.
The government and the IG, please let us respect the law of the land. That is why it is there.
Tourism Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutua, however, blamed the protesters for an incident in which a police officer injured himself with a tear gas canister after failing to throw it towards the protesters in time after detonating.
That man is a father of somebody, a child in this country. Is a husband of somebody, has been disabled in the line of duty by these demonstrators. Nyinyi wasichana na vijana mnapo demonstrate hapo na kupigana na polisi. You have caused this man, a human being like you. How do you feel that that man is disabled if it was you?
Waves of protests against Finance Bill continued today in Mombasa, with there being talks of such protests being witnessed in different parts of the country on Thursday as the MPs get to the third reading of the bill ahead of the voting on Tuesday and Wednesday next week. David Kagina, K24, Nairobi.